Hey guys, welcome back to the most underrated channel on cryptocurrency. So today we're going to be looking at ETH. It's looking pretty healthy right here, and then mainly what I want to go over is some opportunities that I'm seeing in the market. Like I told you guys before, this kind of looks like a double bottom to me. Again, it's not coming in from the top. It's that W formation, but really what it is, when you're looking at like a technical standpoint, you're looking at it's clearly an uptrend because it's consecutively hitting higher highs and lower higher lows. So that's really what this formation is, and we're in this channel that we've been talking about. This is on ETH, but this is what I really want to show you. I want to show you guys the opportunities, because what I always say on this channel, and I say it so much because it's so ridiculously important, it's like I get that a lot's going on in cryptocurrency, but just be patient, just wait, the opportunities will come up. Let's see. Coinbase, Kraken. It should be this chart right here. Yeah, so we've been having a lot of struggle with Chainlink, the decentralized Oracle, and it looks like it's just now breaking through this massive support barrier that it's had a hard time with for the longest time, and it looks like it just broke through. This could be absolutely massive for Link. Yeah, so I mean, no matter how you slice it, it broke out of this wedge that has been massive. You know, it was back here where there's a lot of support on it. It hit it, it would go underneath it, and we were following it for the longest time, and it just broke out of this wedge today. That looks really good for Link for sure. Again, what we talk about a lot on this channel is following the macro trends. So it's not necessarily, you can't just look at Link's chart and say, oh, well, I'm going to buy Link. Taking a look back at Bitcoin dominance, uh, this is really it broke this level right here, which is the golden pocket, and then it dipped back in it. But you have to factor in the fact that Bitcoin pumped today, so we have to go to get an entire total picture. You can't just look at Bitcoin dominance. You can't just look at Bitcoin. You can't just look at these charts. You have to look at everything. And when we go to total, we see we broke another all-time high just in the last hour alone. So is Bitcoin dominance necessarily bad for alts? Well, no, it's not necessarily bad for alts when you take a look at all the graphs you need to be taking a look at, which we always cover on this channel. And then obviously DXY is absolutely massive. We're going to zoom out to the weekly, and I'm just going to cover this for a second because obviously it is massively important, especially because today's Friday and institutions are trading. So it looks like it's coming again. It looks like it had a death cross right here on the weekly. Moving averages are not as significant on Forex, and really all Forex is just trading different currencies. And why are we looking at this currency? We're looking at this currency because as the dollar does poorly, as it goes down, Bitcoin does well. And that's just something that you learn by being experienced in the markets. And we don't need to look at the stock market, but when you look at the S&P, if the S&P is up, most likely all the other markets tend to go up also. Taking a quick look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin broke all-time highs again today. Of course, we have not sold a penny. Let's see. So really what we're looking at is these fib extension levels. So we have this really nice target right here at 55.68. That gives you a really good idea of what's going on. Taking a look at the volume, volume's going to be absolutely massive. And we have this level, and then, you know, we have this level when we get to it, and then obviously this is going to be massive. As you're looking at this uptrend on the weekly, it looks like so this is on the weekly, so this is highly significant. So right here, and then right here, and let's make these a little bit smaller so we can get these touch points perfect. It looks like Something along those lines. I definitely think you can line up the candle bodies, it looks like, instead of hitting the wicks. Let's see. You got one. There we go. 1, 2. Yeah, that looks really good. 1, 2, 3, and almost 4. And then we get an idea of, this area right here, and it looks like, so, you have this Fibonacci extension, which is very significant on the area that we drew it, and then you also have this trend line that's on the weekly chart. So this is going to be a massive area. Now, do I think it's going to break it long term? Absolutely. Let's just take a quick look at stock to flow. We're still healthy and still have room to run. According to this is, the distance from the 200 weekly. This one, we still have room to go up to 57. So if we look at 57 with Bitcoin, we still have, it'll break this line before we max out on that indicator. And then stock to flow, we're right here. It's starting to be yellow. Like I said, I'm colorblind literally, but it looks like we haven't entered that orange area yet. It looks like your eyes are literally probably going to be better than mine at seeing colors. And then right here you have what you're looking for on this chart right here. This pi cycle indicator is essentially, you want to see this line go above this line right here. It looks like we still have some room to run. And then on this chart, we have a lot of room to run. Let me zoom out a little bit. I guess I can zoom out a little bit more so you get an idea. But this is the logarithmic growth chart for Bitcoin. And if we topped out today, it would be around 98. But then it's obviously a curve. So the more we go out, the higher the price action goes. But my point is this: according to every single metric, we're looking good, and a lot of it is nearly hard to chart just because we've hit a lot of our major targets. We had targets at 50, 53, 54, 55, and it looks like all of them have been hit, and really what we're looking at as major resistance is just slightly above here. And what tends to happen is, zoom in a little bit. Nice. So what tends to happen is the people will take profits just shortly before these major levels, because they know that once it hits these major levels, there's going to be a sell-off. So let's see if we can line this up, because this looks still valid. Okay. Boom. Nice. So that will be very interesting to see, the just the different fib levels. Looks really good. It just, I think it looks really good. So yeah, we could potentially hit this top level right here, top out, come down, ride it back up. Just an idea, something you're most likely not going to see on other channels. We love using these in uptrends, and because the whole market just seems to be in this massive uptrend. So as a technical analyst, to me, it just makes sense that you would put up a Fibonacci retracement channel. And the fact that I haven't seen other channels, constantly do this, it makes no sense to me. There's only so many different technical analytical tools that you can use. And this is when we're in an uptrend, drawing these fib channels is just common sense in my opinion, but not common whatsoever in the space. Let's see. So this was just an idea if it was to break this channel. We're still in this channel right here. Let me delete that because somebody was asking me about trading one time and I said, well, definitely don't trade it. And then it like dropped. I was like, I'm so glad I told you not to trade it. Save somebody some money, which is what we like to do on this channel. So yeah, you got this rising wedge right here, and the top isn't for 58, so and we can come down around 52, still be in this channel, consolidate. This is more on the higher time frames, and then we had this right here, and I said we got to see what happens with this, and there was a clear downtrend, and then if you extend this line, obviously it breaks that, and then it pumped. But yeah, this was what we were looking at the other day, and it looks like it broke to the downside. Nobody was saying it was going to break to the upside, but you gotta look at the charts, see what they're saying, and that's exactly what I said. All right, what else we got? ETH, USD, Kraken. So we're getting relatively close to this area. I'll keep you guys updated. Again, these tend to be extremely, these fib levels, like I said before, we called the bottom right here against, I think we were one of the only channels on the entire internet that called the bottom on ETH. These fib channels are no joke. Or not fib channels, this is a Fibonacci circle on the macro time frames. No joke, I'm telling you guys. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But like I said, we're literally the only channel, I'm pretty sure, on the entire internet that called the bottom on ETH at its most significant level. And so the only thing that I'm saying is these fibs, just because you don't see them on other channels, like at the end of the day, that's just because, I don't know, but it's obviously massively important. Alright, what else are we looking at? We can take a quick look at ADA. I like ADA a lot. You guys know I love ADA. And, I have a lot of like accomplishments on this channel already, even though it's new. One of them was calling the bull market on Bitcoin. Another one was calling ADA like massively as this 10x coin. And it looks like it hit our fib level perfectly. So if it hit this fib level, Fibonacci extension level perfectly, then you would want to hit this level right here, because it hits this. If you hit this level right here previously, you're most likely going to hit this level. And these are just, this is a higher, and these are just different fib levels. This one is, let's see, so this is swing low to swing high of this current metric. And this has been pretty significant. You'll see it over the last few days. And then this one is another major pump. And so they're two slightly different, but both of them are going to be, when you look at like, what would you say? When you look at Fibonacci clusters, like the fact that these line up very well together, it just shows that, that there's obviously a significant area right here. Let's see. So, I mean, what you could do is, it's inevitable that it hits these targets, really what we're looking at is what's going to happen. What I would like to see happen is pulled back to the upper band of this golden pocket right here. It's possible. I wouldn't count on it just because of how bullish this market is and how long it's been consolidating and how much new money's flowing into the space. So really what I'm looking at, and there's a lot of relevancy on this chart right here on the 4 hour. So if you go right here, it hit this level right here, which is going to be, if we pull up our EMAs, this is going to be the exponential weighted. This is going to be the 50 that it pulled back to right here before bouncing higher. And then what's most likely, just because obviously this time frame is relevant, it's the 4 hour, and there's just a lot of significance, not only because we back tested this area right here, but also just because when you think about it, like logically, how bullish this market is, how you see these small recoveries, like you see this right here, and then you see a massive wave up, and then you see this smaller recovery. So we're obviously in an uptrend, and to continuate that uptrend with the bullish momentum that we're looking at with Cardano, thinking about how it's already, relatively speaking, been consolidating for a pretty decent amount of time, considering how bullish it's been. A quick pullback to this level right here would be, around the 90 cents area, just a little bit less. That's going to be significant. If not this level right here, I don't think that's going to be the case though, just because when you look at this, we clearly get a bounce off of that level and move higher. And we've already tested this area as support, and we are clearly in an uptrend. And obviously this break right here is inevitable with the fact that, we're just cooling off more so than anything. And a lot of people are calling for Cardano $1. So I think, again, there's just a lot of bullish momentum in the space already. And so, and when you look at over here on the mid to longer term, we're already in an uptrend. So it would just make sense that this continuates. Pull back right here, hopefully right here. Anything lower than that just seems like a fire sale. Yeah, I mean, potentially we could come back right here and back test this high right here, which was relatively significant as support, or hit this major Fibonacci retracement level right here, this 618. Again, that just because of how bullish this currency is, like specifically, it just doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. What? What? I'm on a stream. It's live. What? I'll be right back. Let's see, is there anything else? So what's surprising to me is Uniswap is still going slow. So this was never, well, this actually was a double bottom idea, and it looks like it didn't have the volume to confirm it. And that's why I always say, it's not just, it looks like it did get a 4-hour close, but this 4-hour close was pretty, let's take a look. No, that was a decent 4-hour close. Yeah. So you always got to look at volume, and then I don't know exactly if you look at, I don't know what happened there. I mean, it's not like we traded this or anything. This was just a bullish idea to potentially break this level right here and continuate this uptrend. And so I'm very, like, almost perplexed, literally perplexed as to why Uniswap is not trading higher. Again, everybody's so bullish on alt season, and the main DeFi token, protocol that's going to be pushing the alt season is obviously Uniswap. It's by far the most important, especially as we move into these lower cap coins. Like, I had I had Unibright. I was out to dinner the other day and I made like stupid money because I had so much money in Unibright and it pumped 43% today, or it pumped 43% yesterday. Ethereum gas fees were so high that it was going to cost me $400 to move that position. And I mean, I had made more off that 43 position in that one day. So, the Ethereum gas fees are just ridiculous. And I'm just holding that position right now, and I feel like a lot of people in their altcoin positions are kind of forced to hold their position just because it doesn't make sense right now. And really, what I'm looking at, they say that they're going to scale out issues. What I'm looking at is Cardano really coming in and saving all these, because when you look at gas fees, the reason the gas fees are so high is because the network's congested. They're all fighting for the transactions are fighting because there's only a limited amount of computers that are validating the nodes, and there's so many transactions, so you have to pay higher gas fees to incentivize the computers to push your transaction through faster. Well, Cardano is basically going to come in and save the day. And and it's also bullish for Ethereum on the same token. You see what I said there? You see this joke? But because if that does happen, and which it will, which is what Cardano comes in and saves the day and builds decentralized applications, and they run Uniswap on Cardano network, which will be significantly cheaper, then that will take a lot of the payload off of Ethereum. There won't be as many people that have to be forced onto the Ethereum network, and because there will be less congestion, the gas fees will be cheaper. And so, we've talked about this a lot on the channel. I'm glad we talked about this. And so anyways, I'm perplexed that Uniswap is not trading higher. I get the gas fees are a monumental issue, but I mean, a lot of us are OGs and we can pay $400 gas fees. We're making thousands an hour with what crypto's doing. A lot of us are OGs, from 17, from 14, we have crypto money. This is like, I don't even know how much I made yesterday, but I made a salary last night, a straight up salary last night when Bitcoin hit all-time highs. Like what most people would make in a year, I made last night. So my point is this, like a lot of us in crypto, we have crypto money. So if we have crypto money, we can afford to pay these Ethereum gas fees. Yes, they're high, but we also hold the Ethereum to begin with. So I just really don't see why Uniswap isn't pushing higher. And then Ethereum's pushing higher, and then we'll take a quick look at what I'm looking at on. But so anyways, with Uniswap, really what I'm looking at is, let's go ETH, USD. I'm looking for a move higher on Uni. I get the notion. And then as far as like what I'm super happy about is I'm super happy that I told you guys like constantly, like every single channel you're gonna see, oh, top 10 coin whatever, oh, top 10 coin whatever. But unless you got straight bans on deck, like unless you're putting down like a couple $1,000s on positions, which sometimes that's something that I'm willing to do, but like for most people that's not the case, where they can just drop 2, 3, 4 bans on some of these smaller speculative projects. Like they just don't have it, and even if they do have just 3 or 4 bands, they can't drop 3 or 4 bands on a small project because it's going to be too high risk, as opposed to something like holding an Ethereum. Really, it's like pay to play right now in alt season, and unless you got at least a 60K portfolio, you really should not be looking at altcoins, these low cap gems, because first off, you got things that are on, like, you got Coinbase, you got Kraken, you got all those coins are high cappers. They could do good, but when I'm looking at my portfolio and what I'm looking at CoinGecko, it looks like we're moving further and further down, and some of these lower caps are starting to pump. And as these lower caps are starting to pump, it goes large caps, mid caps, low caps, micro caps. And to get these lower caps, to get these mid caps, to get these micro caps, you're going to have to use Uniswap. And because the gas fees are just absurd, like we can pay them, but it cuts into the risk reward ratio, which is what we've been talking about massively on this channel. So, man, I put that off to the side for a second. But so really what you're looking at is, do you have two bands to put down on a position? If you don't have two bands to put down on a position, most likely the risk to reward ratio, because if you have to pay $100, $200 to scale out of these positions when you're already taking up a massive amount of risk, it's just ridiculous. And the congestion, it seems, is only going to get worse before it gets better, because there's more and more people. There's more and more people coming into the space. You see that from Total. You see that from, ticker symbol Total crypto market cap. More and more people are coming into the space. Ethereum network. So my point is this. Every single channel is going to feed you crap. Every single channel. There's not a single channel besides my channel that is not going to feed you crap. Look at them talk about altcoins. Look at them talk about all this crap. That's fine. Let them talk about the crap. But you're going to get absolutely murked if you FOMO into these projects, because you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to FOMO into this low cap gem right here, and you only got $100 to your name. You can't even pay the Ethereum gas fees. You're going to be penny pitching just to get like a penny of this token. Like, it literally makes absolutely no sense. And that's what I've been warning you guys for a long time. And a lot of times with we're talking about alt season. And, it's more so than anything, what's really perpetuating alt season, which we've talked about a lot on this channel, is the total market cap, because it's not Bitcoin dominance. And when you have something speculative like that, which is breaking all-time highs on top of all-time highs, it's very hard to predict when new money is going to be flowing in. And it's very, very, if not impossible, to chart, difficult to chart on technical analysis, basically hypothesizing when new money is going to be coming in. So you're almost blindly speculating to begin with on how altcoin season is going to go, from the red to the green, based off of, it's not Bitcoin dominance that's moving these charts. It's total. It's the new money's flowing in, and you see that as new money flows in, the alts do good. As Bitcoin stagnates, the money flows from Bitcoin into altcoins, and you see that with Bitcoin dominance. And as Bitcoin pumps and no new money flows in from Total, then you see that alts do poorly. So my point is this: really strategically talking, you can't really predict, because most of the alt season is being perpetuated by Total. You can't really predict accurately, without assumptions, what's going to be happening with alt season. That being said, the best strategy, if you can't predict, kind of like how we said that nobody really knows the top of Bitcoin, which we went over, and I'll probably make a video about it again, but the best way to do it is cost-based averaging. And cost-based averaging, I've been involved in a lot of different assets, and cost-based averaging is not nearly based off of time, but it's based off of a multitude of different factors, like maybe cost-basing averaging into levels. Like if we were looking at Ethereum, this could potentially be a level. If we hit a bounce, we could cost-base average right here, we could cost-base average into here, and then we could cost-base average into here. And then also just wait it out with time, but be more strategic than just randomly cost-based average based off of time. That literally makes no sense. But one of the things that we're looking at right now is you have this support comes up, hits resistance on an already bearish trend. I'm looking to enter into Ethereum when it's hitting these levels. And that would be a real cost-based average in. But my point is, you want to cost-based average into altcoins. and only if you got the cash on hand. So if you don't have like straight 10 bands, like if you have 10 bands and you're looking at a reasonable, you shouldn't be putting more than like 10% of your portfolio into these low caps. You need at least 10,000. Like if we were being honest, you need at least 10,000 so that you can cost base average in. You got two bands over here, two bands over here, two bands over here, two bands over here to cost base average. Most people don't got that kind of money on them. And so my point is this: stay out of alt season right now. It's for the big boys. It's for the people that can afford to pay these Ethereum gas fees. And at the very least, I just hope that this is making you think. Really what I'm doing, because you guys know that I have a portfolio in micro caps. It's a very small percentage of my portfolio. But what I'm doing with basically all my altcoins, with all my I'm yield farming on Frontier, yield farming Frontier slash Ethereum trading pair. I want to see how that's doing. But with all my DeFi and all my low caps, everything, I'm just holding. I don't want to pay any Ethereum gas fees right now. And on Kyber Swap, where I have my Unibright, like that's just ridiculous. They wanted $400 for a transaction yesterday. I'm telling you, like, I can show you guys how to make money like lucratively with like staking rewards and yield farming and all these different things. We can go over that, but with the Ethereum gas fees right now is just ridiculous. And you can technically still cash flow, but you're cash flowing at an extremely high risk. And it's like, my friend's like, should I get into Bitcoin right now? And I said, after this pump that we just had, I told him to get in before this pump, and he would have just made like a bunch of money, but he couldn't get up his Coinbase account set up. So, but he couldn't get it set up fast enough. But it's like, yes, Bitcoin is like, because he's like, you think Bitcoin's gonna hit at least 100,000. So then why would I not buy Bitcoin right now? And I said, because the risk to reward ratio isn't there. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it could go up, and it most likely will go up. But when you look at the risk to reward ratio, it's not the time to buy, it's the time to hold right now. And it's like you can look at any stock, and any stock has the potential to go up. You know what I mean? But where's the risk to reward ratio on that? You always, always, always want to be on favorable risk to reward ratios with giving yourself a margin of error, because anything can happen in the markets, and you want to give yourself that buffer room. So essentially, like, best case scenario is we come down right here, we set a low, but not a lower low than this, and in this area right here, and then continue higher. And then when you zoom out on these trends, this would be a continuation to this uptrend right here, which is looking very good. You have this hump, and then you have this higher hump right here. So this would be absolutely massive, legendary ETH trade. I don't mind putting all my capital. I keep cost base averaging out of my trading position. My trading position is getting lower and lower. We did trade, I think, $8,000. I closed my position yesterday. I told you guys I would. I had to, an ETH pump today, and I was upset, but I was like looking at my girlfriend. I told her, I was like, there's literally nothing I could have done. Like, she wasn't upset or anything, but it's like I couldn't do anything. My funding rate on that was so, like, to keep that trade open was costing me so much money. We were profitable, but keeping it open longer, there was just too much risk. And so for me to close the position, like, I had to. Like, when you look at risk to reward ratio and how much it was costing to keep that trade open, I had to close it. Now, did the price shoot up? Yeah, the price shot up. Would that have covered my funding rate? Yeah, that would have covered my funding rate. But that's speculative. And, the market's not always going to go in your favor how you think it's going to go. And giving yourself that buffer room it's what's going to preserve your capital. And so, like, what I'm saying is, like, yeah, you can buy in Bitcoin right now. Is it risky? Yeah. Could it go up? Yeah. But, to really preserve your capital, to really, at this point, I think I've traded around what is it, 430,000, something around there, something crazy. I've showed you guys my account multiple times, and you just scroll through the account and it's just all green. And it just comes down to, I know how to trade. I know how to do risk to reward ratios. I know how to read the markets. And, if you're really conservative and you're taking these guaranteed shots, like, they're guaranteed. And that's what we do, because we want to compound our wins. We want to compound our wins. And, you make $100 here, that's another $100 to invest. You make $100 here, that's another $100 to invest. You make $100 here. And then if you lose money, let's say you only have $100 and you lose that $100, then you're out for the entire season, and those losses are just going to absolutely monumentally compound, because you lost your $100, and when Bitcoin potentially 4x's from here, you lost $400 on top of what you could have traded conservatively. So we always talk about that. Losses compound, gains compound. And so right now I gave you guys the opportunities. I gave you guys the textbook, and right now I'm looking at cost-based averaging into potentially Cardano. I'm looking at cost-based averaging in potentially to Link. Again, we're really reliant right now on Total for money to keep pouring into the space. At this point, it's a massive uptrend. There's a lot of bullish momentum on that. It looks like that's going to be the case. But I'll keep you guys updated, and with the charts, with the strategies, and we'll go from there. But let me see if there's a quick question I can answer if somebody has a question. Hi. Is it too late for Bitcoin to long? I would not be longing right now. There's potential, and we talked about it, but from a risk to reward ratio, which we always talk about, there's no patterns right now to trade. And we always talk about patterns because, like I said, like, you could long it, but you're risking your money. Like, you're gambling at that point, and we do not gamble on this channel. So, hi, what is up? All right, so yeah, that's gonna do it. I'm gonna keep updating you guys. I'm gonna keep giving you guys, what we're doing. But Link is looking good. I'm not leverage trading Link just because it's in an uptrend. It's not a pattern. Well, it did break out of that pattern, but we did miss the breakout into the risk to reward ratio. I mean, if you were to go lower leverage with a tighter stop loss, potentially you could make those levels up. But really, you got to trade the beginning of the pattern. And I think I was sleeping when a Link broke out, but purchasing Link. That seems pretty low risk to me. And then cost-based averaging in, and then if we do hit that wedge, the top of that wedge, and bullish retest off of it, we could potentially add to that position. So yeah, that's really what we're looking at. Is Cardano and Link are looking pretty attractive right now. But yeah, definitely sub to the channel if you're not getting these opportunities, if you're not hitting these positions that we're constantly hitting. If you're not getting these positions that we're constantly calling, then sub to the channel and just be patient and wait, because no channel is really going to tell you that. But like, at the end of the day, like, looking at the low cap gems, like, for most people that's not going to be the move, just because of how high Ethereum gas fees are. Like I said, I almost had to pay $400 if I wanted to Kyber swap out my Uniswap tokens yesterday, because I made, I won't say how much I made, but Uniswap went up 42% yesterday in the day, and I was like, oh, I'll pull out a little bit, and I was like, never mind, it's $400 to pull out. It's ridiculous. So that's the stuff they're not going to tell you on other channels. So my point is this: I would be looking at Link. I would be looking at um, I like Uni. I don't know what's going on with Uni. I get that the Ethereum gas fees are so high. I get that. But alt season is alt season, and it's like a monetary incentivized network where if nobody can afford these gas fees, then they're going to come down because nobody's going to be on the network, and then they'll come to where people can pay for them. So it monitors themselves. And so Uniswap should not be as undervalued as it is, in my opinion. I was perplexed when I saw what was going on with it, but a consolidation pattern and then looking for a breakout on Uniswap seems to be like the most conservative play that we haven't seen a real pattern yet. So if you want to be conservative on that, and then we did see that break on Link, and then Cardano just looks really good. again, we saw those key levels where it could potentially retrace to, and cost-based averaging on those levels seems like one of the best plays. So anyways, that's the update. That's what you need to know. We went over everything from DXY to total crypto market cap to where we are in the cycle right now with Bitcoin if you're a long-term holder. Anyways, sub to the channel. I'll be back on later.